Why am I here? I am here because I love the Philippines and I love the Filipino people.
Former Special Assistant to the President, Bongo, confirms to CNN Philippines that President Duterte is currently on a personal trip to Hong Kong. He is with his common-law wife, HONEYLET AVANCEña, and youngest child, Kitty. Yesterday, photos of Duterte were seen in Hong Kong media. Go says Kitty Duterte requested for this family trip. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo also told CNN Philippines it is HONEYLET's birthday. Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea is currently the officer in charge for the day-to-day operations at the office of the president. The president and his family are expected to come home today. Political analyst Ramon Casiple tells CNN Philippines he sees nothing wrong with President Duterte going on a personal trip abroad unless it has something to do with a serious health problem.
Sa kanya yun, complete ang authority to do it, siyempre siya. Ang mahalaga lang, pag umalis siya, dapat mag-designate siya ng somebody to be here. Although, may mga nagko-content kasi ngayon in the panahon na ng internet, etc. na you don't need kasi may connection naman, may contact, at may line of, kung ngayon yung pa pwede invoke yung line of succession. Pero it's prudent na usually may designate siya na tao niya rito in the spot, usually the executive secretary. Bakit naging particularly sensitive yung usapin? Ay dahil merong mga speculations on his health. Sinasabi naman niya wala. At wala naman yung mga nakatabi niya, mga cabinet members, wala naman sinasabi din. Yun ang iba kasi yun ibang proseso pa yun. If there's really a serious sickness, then he will have to tell the people.
Meantime, the Vice President's camp takes a swipe at President Duterte's unannounced trip to Hong Kong. Vice President LENI Robredo spokesperson Barry Gutierrez tells CNN Philippines it should have been protocol for President Duterte to let the public know of his trip.
Hindi naman kasi ito ang unang pagkakataon na ginawa niya yan. Hindi naman siguro dapat ipaalala pa sa kanya ng paulit-ulit. So, kumbaga, kung tingin niya, wala siyang obligasyon na ipaalam sa ating mga kababayan kung nasaan siya. Meron siyang karapatan na basta aalis na lang siya kung kailan niya gusto, unannounced, iiwan niya yung pamamahala ng bansa sa kamay ng isang tao na hindi naman hinalal na Pangulo. Di, nasa sa kanya na yun.
We are reaching out to Malacanang for comment. An online news site takes down a story for fear of getting sued. In a statement, Philstar.com says it removed an article from 2002 involving controversial businessman Wilfredo King. King's camp has raised the possibility of legal action. King had earlier filed a cyber libel complaint against Rappler CEO Maria Ressa. Philstar.com adds that while the article is nearly 17 years old, recent events have cast doubt on the scope of the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Ressa is now free on bail after spending a night in detention last Wednesday. She says her arrest is an example of the government's, quote, abuse of power and weaponization of the law. Reacting to Philstar's move, the Center for Media Freedom and Responsibility calls on journalists to defend press freedom. CMFR Chairman Virgil Santos tells CNN Philippines recent events show there's an effort to stifle the press. He now says the media should be vigilant and stand their ground.
Pag hindi pinaglaban yan, tumigil na kayong mamahayag. Ibig sabihin, you do not deserve to be in this business if the simple matter of defending the basic freedom of our profession, hindi natin magawa.
Santos adds the cybercrime law doesn't apply to Philstar's case.
Marami pang issues dito. Ang unang issue, yung batas hindi tayo sakop. Di ba? Hindi sakop yung kasong yon. Isa na yon. Pangalawa, yung libelo. Pag-uusapan pa yun eh. Talaga bang nalibelo itong si King? Na-ruin ba ang reputation nito? Meron ba talaga itong reputation na maruruin? Yung mga ganong tanong, pag-uusapan pa yan eh. Di ba? Yung NBI nga sinabi na umpisa pa lang hindi sakop yan. Pero tayo naman nakita na natin na marami namang kaso, hindi lang sa atin, na under this regime, pinwersa Hindi ba? Hindi nga makulong si Mrs. Marcos Nakalabas nga yung nakulong Kaya ang pinag-uusapan dito hindi lang batas, hindi lang applicability ng batas. Ang pinag-uusapan dito ang quality ng judicial decision making. Kung parehas ang pag-apply ng batas o hindi, yun ang pinag-uusapan dito
CNN Philippines is reaching out to Keng's Camp and Philippine Star for comment. Environment officials have taken drastic measures to rehabilitate some of the country's top tourist attractions. From Boracay to Manila Bay and now Baguio City could be next. Our Makoy Papioco tells us environment officials have already launched pine forest and soil evaluations in the city.
Environment Secretary Roy Cimatu has his eyes locked on Baguio City this time. He reveals his agency has sent a team that will study the condition of pine forests in the city for a month.
Because Baguio is pine trees is Baguio. So, noon nga, sabi nga nila, have you noted na pag-akyat mo sa Baguio noon, nangamoy na Baguio nangamoy na yung pine trees Ngayon, hindi na. Kasi bihero na kasi yung leaves niya, kukunti na lang yung leaves.
The mountain city, known as the country's summer capital, is a favorite destination for many tourists because of its cold climate, a much-needed relief from the scorching temperatures in most parts of the country. In 2017, nearly 2 million tourists visited Baguio. However, due to the increase in population and the booming economy, mountains have been cleared to accommodate commercial and residential expansion. Local officials say as early as 2 years ago, the city agriculturist has noticed some pine trees have been dying. They suspect this could be because of a disease infesting the trees, or this could be due to other tree species affecting the growth of the pine trees. The Environment Department's plan to rehabilitate pine forests is a welcome news to the city government.
Sometimes we do cutting kasi kung talagang infected na yung kahoy and it is beyond rehab, it cannot be cured any longer.
Cimatu is also looking into restricting building construction on the city slopes and may order the suspension of building permit issuance.
Sa authorized na batas kasi, papayagan nila magbahay ka dyan, slope not more than 18 degrees, yung 18 degrees. Pero because na ganito naman sa Baguio, inallow na we are cautioning yung pagpagawa ng mga buildings. Remember, Itogon, that number of rainfall na napunta doon, if that pumunta dito sa city of Baguio, delikado. Maraming mga landslides dito.
It is possible that it can be imposed in the city of Baguio. There are sectors who will be opposing it, but many will also welcome that development.
Residents are more than pleased with the environment officials' plan.
Hindi na Baguio actually ang Baguio.
Bakit?
Kung walang pine trees, 'di ba? Kung puro building na lang, di sana pumunta na sila Manila, 'di ba?
Para maprotektahan ng Baguio, tsaka yung mabalik yung natural, yung dating beauty ba ng Baguio, for talagang ang sarap umakyat ng Baguio. Ngayon puro tao na and the traffic is terrible.
While the agency's rehabilitation plans are still at the onset, it looks like many in Baguio City have been waiting for such concerted effort to happen. Makoy Popioco, CNN Philippines.
A package of cocaine, this time worth over 5 million pesos, was found along the shores of Camarines Norte. Police say a resident discovered the block of cocaine wrapped in duct tape on the shores of the municipality of Paracale. It weighed almost a kilogram. Earlier this week, at least 89 kilos of cocaine worth almost 500 million pesos were recovered along Caraga shores. Authorities have yet to determine the syndicate behind these shipments. PNP Chief Oscar Albayalde says the blocks of cocaine worth 500 million pesos found along the shores of Siargao and Dinagat Island are not intended to be sold in the Philippines. 37 bricks of cocaine weighing almost 49 kilograms were found Tuesday along the shoreline of Dinagat, while another 40 kilos were found in Siargao in subsequent operations since Thursday. Police say 2 blocks of cocaine floating at sea were found in Camarines Norte earlier this week. Albayalde says based on intelligence reports, Philippine seas may just be a drop-off point for the syndicates.
Yes, ang sinasabi ng RD doon nag-positive sa cocaine substance to.
May iba pa.
Yun ang tinitignan nila kasi pwedeng ito daw ay posible, no? Hindi natin masabi kung ito based lang doon sa analysis ng mga investigador natin ay pwedeng iniwan ito sa dagat, merong GPS, initially nakalubog at hindi lang nang alam kung bakit ito lumutang at nawawala na yung GPS nito.
Sir, may info ba galing din ito sa China daw?
So far wala. We cannot pinpoint and we cannot say na ito directly galing sa China. Remember, last year meron din nakuha sa Camarines no? Parang ganito may GPS. So the same style, the same modus. Ang initial analysis kasi dito is parang hindi rin naman para sa atin yan. Parang transient yan. No? Itong drugs na na-recover na to, parang hindi para sa Pilipinas talaga. Dadaan lang dito and then masiship in other places.
Groups dismayed after President Duterte failed to fulfill a campaign promise. The president rejected a bill aimed at creating a trust fund for coconut farmers. Zian Arcangel reports.
Coconut Industry for Reform spokesperson Joey Faustino recalls standing beside then Davao City Mayor Rodrigo Duterte as he signed a manifesto promising coconut farmers that they would finally benefit from the Coco Levy Fund within his first 100 days in office if he won as president. Faustino had high hopes Duterte would fulfill his campaign promise because he told coconut farmers during a dialogue in Quezon in March 2016 he will force Congress to make sure the Coco Levy funds go to the rightful beneficiaries. That's why Faustino was shocked and dismayed when the president vetoed the bill, which would have created a 100 billion peso trust fund for coconut farmers.
Maliwanag sa amin nung sinabi niya yon kung paano siya naniniwala na ito dapat ay mabalik sa kapakinabangan ng mga magnuniyog. Hindi ako sigurado kung naduwag ba siya sa kanyang pangako o nakita niyang iba na dapat ang kampihan.
President Duterte vetoed the Coco Levy bill even after it went through the Bicameral Conference Committee twice. Malacanang had earlier warned it will be rejected by the president if certain provisions were not fixed. A week earlier, the president disapproved the bill strengthening the Philippine Coconut Authority, which was supposed to manage the Coco Levy funds. In a February 9 statement, Malacanang said Duterte vetoed the bill strengthening PCA because it lacked safeguards to ensure Coco Levy funds would be handled properly. The palace took an issue with the inclusion of 7 members from the private sector in the 15-member PCA board, as provided in the vetoed bill. Malacanang said this would be no different from letting private persons influence how public funds should be used. But for Faustino, the palace is merely making excuses for Duterte's failure to fulfill his promise to coconut farmers. Faustino says the president could have told lawmakers specifically what he wants to see in the Coco Levy bill the first time it was recalled by the Bicameral Conference Committee, so he wouldn't veto it.
Bakit hindi ginamit itong panahon na to para itama yung sinasabi ng Malacanang na mali? Parang ayaw nga niya talagang magkaroon ng trust fund mula dun sa nabawing coconut levy.
The Coconut Levy Fund came from taxes collected from farmers during the time of the late President Ferdinand Marcos. The money was supposed to benefit the coconut farming industry but ended up in the hands of Marcos's cronies. In 2012, the Supreme Court ruled that the Coco Levy Fund should be used for the farmers' benefit, but Congress should pass a law on how the money should be managed. Coconut farmer June Pascua says Duterte should have signed into law the Coco Levy bill, even if Congress's version differs a lot from what the farmer sector proposed. Pascua says some 3 million coconut farmers stood to benefit from the creation of a Coco Levy Trust Fund.
Tingin namin, mahalaga pa rin ang batas kasi hanggat walang batas hindi makakapagsimula. Parang hindi na fair para sa aming malilit na magniniyog na pera namin, parang nakikiusap kami ngayon kung paano namin gagamitin.
With Duterte's veto, Faustino says it will be back to square one for coconut farmers as a new Coco Levy bill needs to be filed in the 18th Congress that will start in July. Despite the setback, he says they are not giving up hope they will finally benefit from the funds that are rightfully theirs. Cian Arcangel, CNN Philippines.
Farmers groups are up in arms against the recently signed rice tariffication law. The law allows importers to bring in rice in exchange for a 35% tariff for shipments from ASEAN neighbors and 50% from other countries. Anakpawi's president and former Agrarian Reform Secretary Rafael Mariano tells CNN Philippines it kills the country's chances of becoming rice self-sufficient.
Hindi na po maano yan, attain yung ganong anumang layunin ng ating bansa. Kasi po, ang tungkulin po ngayon ay mas aasa tayo dun sa pandaigdigang pamilya pagdating sa supply ng ating mahalagang staple food.
Mariano further explains it also renders the government's agricultural programs useless.
Ano pa paggagamitan natin ng farm equipment and machineries? Ano pa yung pagtataniman ng ating mga pulang palay kung papalaking area naman natin na tinataniman ng palay, ang malaunan ay mawawala sa rice production, local rice production po natin.
Meanwhile, the Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas says the law marks the beginning of the end of the local rice industry. They say even with the funding and safeguards, the industry do not stand a chance with massive rice imports. However, House Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo says she's happy that the president signed the measure as increasing rice imports will help ease inflation. On the other hand, former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile warns that oversupply of rice will deprive farmers of their livelihood. He said we should use tariffs to protect farmers. Enrile recommends limiting the volume of imported rice if the country has a sufficient supply. Our breaking news: 2 are dead while 1 is wounded after a shooting incident this afternoon along EDSA Reliance in Mandaluyong. Mandaluyong police say 2 casualties were a businessman and the rental van driver, while the wounded is now in stable condition and under close medical supervision. 2 men on a black motorcycle had reportedly approached the victim's van and opened fire. Initial findings show at least 10 shots were fired at the van with a .45 caliber pistol. Authorities have yet to identify the suspects and the motive behind the shooting.